SP and Jesus already off to the races with one another. Gonna be blind with the stun as SP trying to see if he can escape the clutches of a Death Knight. Trying to see maybe mind control will be enough, but his Savage of Force a disperse just to give himself a defensive, looking for that survivability as Jesus just looking to salvage the claw. SP down with a silence, putting an immense amount of pressure on the Shadow Priest, needs himself an out. Maybe the Void Eruptions will give him away. Jesus backing up out of there, trying to avoid the 2 eruptions. Mind games by SP, has Megalomania on him, so he gotta be very, very careful of his health. Shackle and Dead on the ghoul does stun her for a moment, and SP trying to get a mind control into Jesus. He knows that Megalomania is gonna get him low on health, but maybe actually heal him a little. He's about at that 30% health mark, but SP is just looking for the cooldown recovery, whatever cooldowns he can get. Gonna be a Door of Shadows, AC looking to escape the Death Knight. DK on the march as SP able to finally get himself a little bit of healing, and SP poking around the pillar to try to get some dots out of Jesus with the Shadow join in. Mind Games trying to get interrupted as best he can. AMS is up, silence, a blind into a stun. SP could be down for the count. Jesus looking to crush him, does try to split him out in the open. Fear onto the Death Knight. Mind Games to follow. SP is actually feeling pretty confident. Any damage Jesus does to him actually end up killing him. Interrupted on the Mind Games on mind control. Not the greatest situation to be in, but trying to go for another mind control. Silence. SP I think maybe done for the count. Unless he got something to receive. I think maybe over. Does get himself a shield last second. Mind control does get gripped. Oh my god. This Death Knight did not give him a chance. Actually didn't give him a chance with a Garrode by Yi. Try to see if he can maybe yeet Jesus out of this arena. You playing that undead? Oh, and he got that Nazar set. It actually looks so wicked. Full burst onto Jesus. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, just one shot him. Oh my goodness. And we got yet another Shadow Priest. I love how many Shadow Priests we got in these arenas, by the way. Kib gonna be up next. Shadowy crash around the corner as Yi approaches him. Quick sap. Barking him on the head, trying to control the situation. That was a full vendetta, just squeezed everything out of Jesus. The question is now, what kind of legendary does Yi roll? Get a shot as the priest picks up the eyes. This is where Yi is gonna send out them spikes into Kib. Try to let the dots do work. Kib, I don't know if he can silence. Can you actually silence Fleshcraft? Because silence is not really an interrupt like normal. Cloak of Shadows for Yi as he's trying to see if he can bail out of the Kib was able to burn through his Fleshcraft very, very quickly. Kib just trying to see if he can just dumpster him down with all the damage, all that pressure, got himself the Mages of the Dead, just slowly approaching towards Yi. Did he use Megalomania? Blind onto Kib, unless he had a Shadowboard Death. There's literally nothing he could do there. Unless he Shadowboard Death that ahead of time. Yi tried to see if maybe he can get himself a bit of a reset. What is this buff you got going on, yeah? What is that? You got a little bit like a purple thing onto your feet. Kib with a sap, could potentially Yi with that big vendetta. Try to see if he can trick it out of it. Is that going to be the vendetta out of the rogue? Potentially the biggest burst possible. Disperse out of Kib really early as he gets low. So Yi, if he wants to go for the vendetta, he'll be in a great spot unless Kib got CC. The rogue has nothing to escape this unless he wants to vanish this early. And I think he wants to use that vanish as part of his burst. Smoke bomb, stun onto the rogue, void eruption. Does Kib finally get him down? Those shadow crashes could be huge. Sounds on the rogue does vanish for a second with a vendetta. And Kib with a flesh count. This is where the rogue interrupts him very quickly. Does the rogue get to maximize the vendetta at all? Got full kidda shot. All the dots on Kib. Greater fate for a second. Trying to see if he can dodge it. Rogue with a dot. With the mages chasing after him. Or maybe not. Dots are still on him though. Do the dots get him? Do the dots set him over the edge though? Or does he catch himself and escape with a re-stealth? Got himself sipping up. Maybe a re-stealth still somehow in combat. That's going to be a cheat death to follow Kib to seize a couple more globals just to finish him. The rogue catches him in a kidda shot with a spike. Still looking for the reset. Does the Kevin Slime keep in combat though? It may. Does it though? Kevin spinning. Kevin is continuing to spin. He isn't able to catch himself reset. Kevin is still continuing to keep in combat with a Shadow Fear. Oh no. The Shadow Feet around the corner with a stun. Horrified out in the open. And Kib does end up taking him out with Answer. Try to see if he may be able to have an easier time with a Necrolord Shadow Priest than a Venthyr one. That's going to be a full. Actually, last time he did beat a Venthyr. Oh my god, wait, Answer actually just blasted him out of the way. I was just trying to remember if he was fighting, if he was having a hard time with an Affliction Warlock or a Shadow Priest. It turned out it was an Affliction Warlock. But my god, Answer gets a burst in there. With Chaos going to give you up next. Got a full 100 mark onto Answer. Stun onto Answer with a Curian Burst. Is going to be Answer trick it out of his stun onto Casca. Is it going to be enough though? Does he have the burst damage to follow up? Does not have wings, but maybe he can. The crit procs. Next auto check is going to proc wings though. He's going to be in a good spot. Bubble is going to go for a flash of light while that wings is up. That is super unfortunate. Had to play very, very, very defensive. It was a really question of, you got wings, you got bubble, do you get aggressive or do you just stop and just heal? It looks like he decided to go for the recovery. Only time will tell if that recovery is going to end up having a payoff or not. Or maybe you should have maximized the pressure versus Kiosco. Flash got helping the Retribution Pilot to keep himself afloat though, and on his feet. Stun lock onto Kiosco. Does he have any outs? Does he actually have enough damage? Gonna be a stun to Kiosco as he dies in low. Playing that Mechanica Soulbind. Got himself that trusty stun in order to disrupt whoever's attacking him as soon as his health does dip low. So for Anto, now that he's got that cooldown out of the way, I believe it's like a 1 minute cooldown or a 45-second cooldown on that passive. That's Soulbind passive. Kiosco looking to keep the pressure on to Anto. Got himself down the Curian Burst. Can he remove the Blessical Protection? If he can somehow purge and maybe tranquilize Blessing, he will be in a great spot. Anto trying to keep the pressure rolling versus Kiosco, throwing him hammers. It's going to be a manic advantage for Kiosco. Unable to get himself lots of recovery unless he can dive back into camo. I don't know if Anto's going to let that happen though. Unless you got a Hand of Freedom, he's just going to be stuck in a steel trap for a moment. It's going to be stunned. Kiosco has a way out of it with a trinket as well as a turtle shell to break out of the shackles. If he can somehow get away from Anto needs to get Kiosco back in combat if he wants to deny him any camo. If he wants to deny him camo, he has wings ready to go. Next auto attack gonna blast him out a big burst, but that's gonna be wings to stop him. Kiosco looking for the recovery. Maybe off that freezing trap he can find himself a camo. He's definitely looking to stay away from Anto. But he's not going for the camo, so maybe there's a cooldown on Thick for now. Anto has real wings this time. If he can get himself actual Hodge with real wings, he'll be in a good spot. Real wings, but that's going to be a stun reversal by Kiosco. I just helped him slow. Break into the flush cut. Oh, shield advantage very quickly. Anto still has wings. Maybe he can go for some damage, but Kiosco meets him with a grenade as Anto trying to see if he can just stay aggressive. With Quizon going to be up next. As Unholy Death that got full dots on the Kiosco, the swarm joins in. Kiosco looking to evade the Death that as best as he can, but the Strangulate with no tools of escape. There's nowhere for him to go but just down to the graveyard, and the Quizon is there to take it down. Quick claw by the A-bomb pet, and nothing he can do at the end. With Chrysler, it looks like he's going to be up next. Maybe Eradori? Chrysler dropping down a big old gateway. And it's going to be Decimated Ball with Quizon with a Mortical sending him in the opposite direction. He has the Infernal next to him, keeping him warm. Blasphemy joins in with a Chaos Ball. That's going to be Quizon trying to see if he can tank up the damage. He's just out there with 2 Infernals. It's going to grip the Warlock back to him. Grippy hand available. Looks like he got himself a ton of recovery from this Infernals. Great use of Death Strike. As soon as you get hit by a powerful hit, if you have the resources to Death Strike immediately, you can recover a ton of health. Death Strike will heal you and will scale based on the amount of damage you took in the last few seconds. I think last 5 seconds. So if you almost immediately duel for Death Strikes, as soon as you take a massive hit, you're in a good spot. Gonna be Chrysman going for a full Cataclysm on all these pets. Every one of these goes giving him the soul shards in order to get Casbots back to back. Try to go for a fear into Quizon. Silence him to the Warlock. That Blasphemy is just continuing to burn him down. And Quizon looking for that range damage, summoning up even more pets. Gonna be a Necrolord setup by Chrysman. I think off of the Ghoul pet. If the Ghoul was low enough on health, Chrysman could have extra potential on those Incinerates. Mortical onto Quizon, trying to go for Incinerate 1. Is it going to be enough? Incinerate to it. It does give a little bit of bonus damage to it. Quizon kind of low on health. Going for the Death Strikes immediately as soon as taking a bit of damage. The faster you go for Death Strikes after taking big hits of Death Knight, the more it should heal you for. Dark Pact by Chrysman trying to avoid this Army of the Dead, summon up a whole new Succubus. Let's get a Mortical into Quizon, but he doesn't have land inside of him. Going for a Decimated Bolt off of the Ghoul, but looks like he's going to actually sacrifice, removing the Ghoul out of the game. He actually just unsummoned the Ghoul just not to give Chrysman an extra hit, but that's going to mean that you don't have a pet during your burst. It means you actually no, he does have a new one. What's it called on somebody Ghoul? I thought it was a minute. Silence to the Chrysman. Gonna be a quick CCO into Quizon. Does break out of it very quickly, I think, with a Lichborn. It's gonna be a Lichborn. Got himself the big grip ahead. Chrysman trying to see if he can avoid it. He's actually super low on health. Big Casbolt. Blasphemy gripping the Death Warlock back to him. This is a couple more globals. It could be anyone's game. Oh! And Quizon does end up trying to see if he can capitalize on the Chrysman. It does get to do it. Eradori's up next. Quizon uses himself as much self-killing as possible. Gonna be the Resonator. Eradori with the clock shot is immediately Quizon with the AMS. Trying to see if he can walk away from Eradori. Disarm onto the Death Knight. Does sacrifice his Ghoul, immediately summoning a new one. Trying to see if he can chain up Eyes down Eradori, but a Vanish comes through as he's able to clear all movement speed effects. Quizon at no help whatsoever, with Eradori just burning last few column points into a dispatch to dispatch the guy out of the game. And Slayband's gonna be up next. Try to see if he can catch Eradori. Does Dory have any dots on him? Dory's gonna have to play it very careful. Gonna have to play the cheesiest rogue you've ever played before. Especially if you're trying to fight Sabans. You know what she does, so I don't know how you can survive that Necrolord Windwalker bursts them. I feel like if the man catches it, drops down BDB next to you, leg sweep, you gotta get the open on him first. Did Slave Bounce pop a trinket? Wait, did Slave pop trinket? Blind and immediately as he goes for burst, did you pop a trinket? What'd you trinket? Gonna be Aerodori, just go for the pistol shots on the pets, building column points, building up his tier set. Maybe you could still get a play. I don't know if you got evasion or not. Does have advantage very, very soon. Feign death for a second. Kiddy shot. Oh, Slay already just had a. He already was a mid-world Jacket Punch and Zuen cloning at the rogue. Did you actually pop a trinket earlier or something? Oh, is that a UI bug? I'm starting to think maybe that was just a UI bug on my end.